Welcome to the Audacious Empires podcast. I'm your host, Leanne Woff, business integrator and founder of Audacious Empires. Each week, my crew and I will be exploring all things building and scaling an extraordinary business. This podcast is here to share how multi-6 and 7-figure entrepreneurs can step out of daily business operations and slide into being CEOs, expanding your reach and increasing your impact. Learn how to build your team the right way, create smart systems, and get the support you need to keep growing. It's time to get out of the doing and become the thought leader and world-class empire builder that you are. Hey, Rockstar. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I want to talk to you about the secrets to scaling that no one is talking about. This podcast is going to be about 7 things that you need to master to turn that $1 million into multi-millions. There are 7 core things that I believe come into play when you are trying to ramp up your 7-figure business into a multi-7-figure business. And a lot of this stuff isn't widely talked about by some of the people that you might surround yourselves with. And because we keep things that we find difficult to ourselves, things that we might find embarrassing or challenging, we don't want everybody else to see. That's not the stuff that you will find on someone's blog or in their podcast episode about all the things they're finding challenging, because they are internal. In my time working with businesses, these are some of the things that I've noticed. And so I thought I would take this opportunity to share them with you. All right. So the first one is to put your inner critic in your pocket. If you want to continue to scale the successful business that you've built, you need to be ready to silence all of the negative thoughts and the critical thinking that sometimes can derail you. We all have it. No one is immune. It is all about how we deal with it. Your body is designed to tell you new is scary, different is scary, change is scary, and the unknown is scary. And what you need to do is when those thoughts come in and tell you you shouldn't do something, you can't do it, you won't ever be as good as, maybe this was a crazy idea that needs to be put away. You need to recognize when that is your internal alarm going off and trying to keep you safe. And you need to come back at it with logic, because you didn't get to 7 figures by not being brave, by not taking steps that weren't guaranteed an exact outcome. That you need to continue to do. But if every time you have a thought that makes you think, oh, this might end badly, or someone might laugh at me, or someone might think I'm not, the real deal, or I don't have what it takes, or I shouldn't be offering it my advice. If you stop and you turn around each time, you'll never be able to scale past where you are now. And so being able to recognize when that's what's happening and then being able to deal with it and unwind that, that's what will help you scale. The second thing is being revved up and ready to embrace change. I've seen a lot of businesses have some pretty decent success getting to 7 figures. There's all different ways that you can create your own version of success. And there's all different ways that you can reach a 7-figure mark. And I've seen a lot of small business owners fly by the seat of their pants, make it up as they go, because let's be honest, that's all we've got when we're starting out, and build things with sticky tape and glue. And that approach will serve you when you're trying to establish something. But now that you're at that 7-figure landmark or high 6-figure landmark, that approach might not serve you the way it always has. What got you to this point is likely not what's going to get you into multi-7 figures, because there's less grace here. What you need to do is a little bit different. It's not harder, but it's different. And the sticky tape and glue will get you so far until the wind gets stronger, until we're putting more force into those frames. And so if you think of it even from a funnel perspective, when you're marketing and when you've got systems in place to catch everybody in your funnel, if you have less people moving through it, there's less pressure. The second that you ramp that up, you really start to test that framework and test what's there. And if you've just got kind of sticky tape and glue going on, you're going to have a lot of leaks. And so now it's time to really look at what could we do better? What could we do differently? How can we operate differently? What is a more systemized approach? What is a better approach? What is a stronger approach? And maybe you don't have the answers to those questions. And that is a-okay, because when you first started out, you had a lot of time and hardly any money. You had a concept that wasn't validated. Now you're here, you have a validated concept. You should have more revenue flowing. You're at 7 figures. And sometimes what we need is to bring in the people with the knowledge to help us strengthen that framework so that we can continue to scale and have a system and an infrastructure that's going to support us. But you've got to be ready to embrace the change and be excited when someone looks at it and goes, cool, you've done it this way. Here's the next way to do it. And what's exciting about that is you've got a solution that you didn't have to come up with or bang your head against the wall to try and figure out. You've got other people that are handing it to you and that will do it with you, which is awesome. The third thing is to think bigger and to make bigger decisions. So if we keep looking at micro decisions and smaller things, you'll focus on smaller things and you'll see small opportunities. If you start looking for bigger and making bigger decisions, you'll start looking for bigger opportunities. You'll start seeing them. I've had clients that I've worked with that have said to me at the beginning, I'm never going to do this in my business. I can't see how I could ever do it. And right now, I don't want to ever do it. It's too much. It would be too hard and it scares me. Once we move forward in time a little bit and their business looks a little bit different, and then they have a team in their corner who they feel like is in it with them, they say, I'm going to do that thing. I need to be able to do it. And actually, I want to be able to do it. And just the other day, for instance, I had a client say to me, I couldn't have done this without you. I'm able to do this because you're doing it with me. I would never have done it on my own. Originally, in that first place, it wasn't even a desire. And now it's an opportunity and an exciting one. And not only is this client seeing that opportunity and taking it, they're then seeing all of the opportunities that could stem from that. And it's exciting. It's not this big, scary, hard thing that was just not even a factor before and we were never going to go there. And it's not something I ever pushed them to do. They came up with that. They brought it to me. And when you're able to start looking at the bigger things and making bigger decisions for your business, that's what will happen. But if you keep looking at the micro and you keep making decisions based on small things, the email that you should send and the format it should have, how many communications there should be, 5 or 7, whether it should go to this page or that page, you'll only ever be presented with opportunities in that space because that's where your focus is. If you really want to keep scaling, you can't keep defaulting back to the things that you are comfortable and safe doing. That's what got you here. But those opportunities now have been won. You've gotten them already. You need to look at the next bit and start seeing what's available to you there. The fourth thing is to guard your focus. A lot of the time, our focus is controlled by our emotions. Our emotions will pull us in a direction and tell us what we need to look at, what needs our attention, where the alarms are going off. But our emotions often aren't rational. They're our body trying to keep us safe. They're our mind being a bit naughty. Unless we take control of that, our focus included, we're not going to be able to stay grounded. And your focus is important. If you want to be able to hit those goals, to get bigger possibilities, get bigger opportunities, and roll with them, you need to control where your focus goes. You need to stay committed to wanting that, because the likelihood is your daily operations and things that happen at a lower level in the business will keep trying to suck you back in. There will always be something that could use your attention. But does it really need to be your attention, or does it just need attention? Previously, that role has always been yours, but it doesn't need to be anymore. And the only one that can change it is you. And sometimes it's easier for us to let ourselves get pulled back in because we know that space. It feels nice. We know the rules of this land, but it doesn't serve you growing. And so if you really want to grow more, you need to guard your focus. You need to be the person with the shield and the sword standing by ready to fight for it against you and possibly against your team or whoever it is that is coming to you saying, I need this and I need that. Well, do you really? What's the other solution? Because your focus is better served in higher level. The fifth thing is boundaries. You need to flex those boundary muscles. And boundaries is a big word and a really hard concept to live out. I don't think I've ever met a person that hasn't struggled with any kind of boundary. And a lot of the time, we're pulling and tugging with ourselves in setting these boundaries because we can attribute validity and weight to all different kinds of things and sometimes opposing things. But when we're looking through the lens of wanting to scale more, what matters now is different to what matters before, because what mattered before was establishing credibility, was building a reputation, was validating something, expanding a brand. You've moved past that now. And so all the things that maybe you were doing before, they don't have the validity that they do now. It's gone. What you need to be able to keep scaling is to have space. And to get space, you need boundaries. You need to be able to stop looking at your phone and at your admin emails on the weekend. You need to stop waiting for there to be a fire. You need to stop looking at little things that happen and panicking. You need blinders when it comes to that. Not that they don't need to be dealt with, but you need the right people to take responsibility for them and fix them. You need your team to take ownership. And you need to let mistakes happen. You need to let things play out how they're going to play out without you saving everything or fixing everything so that the responsibility can take place, so that better systems can be implemented, so that your team can be empowered. You're building a better business by doing it. By not doing it, you're keeping yourself smaller. You're keeping yourself in those roles. You're keeping yourself on a path to doing a whole bunch of tasks that you're just over. You've outgrown them. It's not what you're here for. It's not your purpose. It's not helping your impact. It's helping a machine roll. And right now, your impact doesn't need that from you. So sticking with some boundaries can be hard. It is easier said than done, but it is what you need. Number 6 is to recognize and to relish in your growth, in what you've built so far, and the value perception that has come with it. There is a reason you've gotten to where you are now. You obviously have something good to give the planet. And people resonate with that. People want it and they want more of it. And you are totally worth that higher price now. You're totally valid in having less availability. Recognize and relish in the growth you've created. You've done that. It's a testament to the impact you want to make. If that means to continue to work on your pricing, if that means to cut down on the one-to-one time that you offer, do that. That is because what you've been doing is working. And if what your impact needs is for you to keep doing that so you can expand that impact, so that you can really see the change you want, so that you can see the benefit that you're having on those people around you, keep doing it and be proud of it. It's not something to feel guilty about. It's not something to feel like you need to all of a sudden change your model around. You get to choose. Be proud of where you've come from and see where it can take you. The 7th thing is to delegate with determination. Delegating is hard, and it's hard to do it well, and it's hard to continue doing it when it doesn't happen the first time smoothly, or the second time, or the third time, or with this person, or with that person. But can I tell you, it's not faster for you to do it yourself. It's not helping anyone for you to do it yourself. All it does when you do that, when you jump in and help, or when you go, I'm just going to do this part of the process because I'm here right now. All it does is take away your team's confidence. All it does is make the ground more rocky. All it does is create more turbulence. And in the long run, you haven't saved yourself any time. You've created more mess. It's well-founded. You've done it from a really lovely place, but it hasn't served you. And so when you are delegating, try and try again with the same people, with different people. Listen to your team. Listen to the people that you bring in, because it's not true that only you can do it. It's not true that no one will understand your business like you do or be able to do it as well as you will. There are certain things that need you, but majority of things don't. And if you really want to scale, you have to let that go. And you have to build in confidence in your team, because the second that they start guessing everything they're doing, they will make bad decisions because their confidence has been taken away. Or if they're constantly trying to recalibrate where everything is up to because other people have helped or have touched things with the right intention, their head's still spinning. And each time their head has to stop spinning, get back on track and reset. So delegate with determination. Remember that is your goal, if it is your goal. So those are the 7 things that I think that people don't openly talk about. And some of them are hard. And you might resonate with a few of them. You might resonate with all of them. You might think, Leanne, I don't know what you're talking about. And then in 6 months come back and go, yeah, that's what she was talking about. Because I know they're valid, because they're things that I see on a regular basis. I just wanted to share them with you. I think we need to be able to have these conversations more openly. And so that when we're struggling through some of it, we know that we're not alone. We know that it's the same thing everyone else is dealing with, and there's no shame attached to it. So I hope that you found this useful. If you did, if you want to chat more about it, if you want to share your thoughts, send me a DM at Audacious Empires. I'd love to speak to you. And if you found this episode helpful, please leave me a 5-star review on whatever player you are listening to, because that's how other people find these episodes. Otherwise, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Loving the Audacious Empires podcast? Drop into our DMs at Audacious Empires and say hi. We'd love to get to know you better. If you're finding these episodes useful, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Thanks for tuning in. You are why we're here.